Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got the AJS JSX125 out for a first impressions and a review ride. So if you'd like to see what my thoughts are to the bike, jump on the pillion seat. I'll take you all for a ride. The engine is 125cc with 11 kilowatts of power. It's a 4-stroke water-cooled 4-valve single overhead cam. The gearbox is a 6-speed manual with a cable-operated clutch. The exhaust is single-sided. The front suspension is provided by upside-down forks. On the rear we've got an adjustable monoshock. Front brakes are a single disc with a twin pot caliper. The rear brakes are a single disc with a single pot Tasco caliper. Fuel tank capacity is 10 litres. The seat height is 800mm. The headlight and the front indicators are LED. The rear light and rear indicators are also LED. On the left hand side we've got the indicators, the horn, the hazards and the high and low beam with the flasher. And then on the right we've got the start button and the kill switch. The dashboard shows all the usual information. This one is LED, it has the revs, the speed, the gear indicator, the time, fuel and your mileage. The bike weighs in at 133 kilograms. The front wheel is a cast aluminium running the 110/70/17 tyres. A cast aluminium rear wheel running the 130/70/17 tyre. So here's a quick demonstration on how easy and lightweight the AJS JSX125 is to manoeuvre on and off the stand. It's got a fairly tight turning circle and would definitely be easy to live with in and out the garage. If you wish to, you can easily spin it on its stand in a very tight space. So let's give the acceleration test a try, shall we? There we go. $60 miles an hour there. So again, with all low cc power bikes, you're not going to be winning any races, but it's really not what it's about. The bike is about cheap motoring, cheap riding, frugal mileage and agility and lightweightness. So for me, the acceleration, yeah, it's not amazing, but they never will be on these kind of bikes, so that's absolutely fine by me. For me, the JSX125 would be a good choice for somebody looking for a cheap way to commute to work. cheap fuel costs, or at least reduced fuel costs over a larger motorcycle or car. It's also a good option, especially for the spring and the summertime when the weather's nice. You can jump on the bike, a nice light morning, whiz through all the traffic, get to work quicker, and then obviously when you finish work you can jump back on your bike and take a long road home, which is always a good option in my opinion. So then, the AJS JSX125. My thoughts on the bike. Well, the engine, that seems to run really smoothly. It seems to have good mid-range power, which means that it's useful around town, but also out on the slightly faster A roads. I found it enjoyed itself and the bike felt more comfortable in and around 35 to 48 miles per hour. I mean, that doesn't mean to say that you're going to be flying past things. You'll still need to plan your overtakes well in advance, but it definitely was fun to ride. The exhaust, well, that's not annoying. It's quite a nice sound actually. It's got a little bit of a deep noise to it. It's not the usual tinniness which you get or associate with 125 bikes. So the gearbox is a 6-speed manual. It's been overall very positive. The gear changes are nice and crisp up and down the box. Not had any issues really going up or down the box or changing between gears. The only slight issue I did find was when I put it into neutral when I came to a stop on a couple of occasions, it did still seem to be in gear. It only happened a couple of times, so it's possibly just not fully out of gear when I've took the clutch out. So as for the handling of the bike, as you would expect with a 125, it's really easy to live with in and around the towns at slow speed, crawling along in traffic. It felt balanced and easy to manage. Then when you got out onto the slightly faster A roads, between 40, 50 mile an hour, when you got a nice run of bends, it felt really balanced and composed. It gave you confidence. It felt like it would hold a corner, hold a bend. It was easy to tip in. And also the tyres seemed to offer more than enough grip. They gave you confidence. They didn't feel like you were lacking anywhere. As for the ergonomics on the bike, well, the handlebars, I quite like them. They're swept back slightly. Gives a nice position, a nice bend in the elbow there to give a more relaxed riding position. The seat, I found the seat slightly raised at the back, which kind of naturally pushed you into the tank. I think I would prefer the seat to be maybe a little flatter at the bottom, just to stop that natural pushing into the tank. With regard to the pillion seat, personally, I would do away with that and just have a seat cowl on the back. I think it's not something which would really be useful. A learner can't take a pillion anyway. A new rider is probably not really wanting to take a pillion, and it's probably only really any use for a short journey or a journey which is an absolute necessity. So I would do away with that and I'll just have the cowling on the back. I think that would look better anyway. The foot pegs, for me, I find they're in quite a sporty position. They kind of put you in a natural attack position, which I think is probably not the best for this type of bike. I think the pegs probably want lowering and maybe just slightly moving forward just to try and take that bend out of your knee there, just to give a bit more of a relaxed riding position. But as for the looks of the bike, I personally think it's quite a nice looking machine. I do prefer it over the Honda CB125F, which would be a natural competitor for this bike. The paintwork, I really like it. It's quite unusual. It's like a matte finish, and the quality looks really good to me. I can't really find fault with that. One thing which I would suggest is the AJS badge here. To me, that looks kind of lost and too small. AJS have a long and historic and successful history in the motorcycle industry, and I think that's something which should be celebrated. So I personally would like to see a bigger tank badge, or maybe something, stickers or decals on there, just so it really does say this is an AJS. I think that would make a difference and look better in my eyes. So for me, one thing which would change about the bike would be the rear section here. Personally, I think it looks too long and a bit too bulky. I would kind of look to see if that could be shortened and brought in maybe like a tail tidy or something like that. I think that would smarten the rear end of the bike up, but that's kind of my only criticism on the looks of the bike. One thing which I did notice was one of the welds down here, which are a little bit untidy and could do with being cleaned up, but I'm sure AJS are already aware of this and would look to refine the bike and sort any initial issues out with the bike as they went forward. That's really the only criticism that I can find, was the weld there and the rear end on the bike. Obviously it's built down to a cost, so that has to be taken into consideration. You're not paying premium money or vast amounts of money for this motorcycle, so you do have to look and give it a balanced opinion. So this bike is obviously aimed at people looking to start their biking journey and who are looking for a bike which is a little bit better looking than the usual offerings on the market. Factor in cheaper insurance costs and the fact that AJS state that this bike will do up to 97 miles per gallon. And in this world of current extortionate fuel prices, that is definitely going to appeal to somebody getting into biking or a younger person. But I also feel it would appeal to somebody who maybe wants a cheaper form of transport to commute to work on a daily basis. It's lightweight, it's easy to filter through the traffic, it's going to save you a heap of time travelling to and from work, and then the time you've saved, you've got that back to go and enjoy the things in life which you like to do, rather than sitting in a car, wasting your time and wasting your life sat in traffic. For me, it's great to see AJS back again making motorcycles and making modern versions of motorcycles which appeal to younger riders. For me, it can only be a good thing having more choice, more manufacturers out there for us as motorcyclists, and it's great to see an historic name back again producing motorcycles. So there you go, that's my review of the AJS JSX125. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions or are thinking about purchasing an AJS, drop a comment below and I'll do my best to help and assist with any questions you may have. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, hype, comment and subscribe below. Remember to keep it shiny side up, and I'll see you all in the next one.